And action.
Take a break inside your head to get a hold of yourself. But it's over now. I was missing everything and I forgot I felt. So many days I found, many questions I have I can't answer myself. And I just don't know how to make it right. Instead I live with things I never would tell. Never tell. All the good and bad things quickly pass me by. I don't know what I miss till I open my eyes. And I can see it all. I can feel it all again. Hope I don't lose control. And repeat this all again.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Both Ends of the Table. It is Friday, December 12th, 2025. I am your host, Stevie J, and I have with me my boy Loop. How are you doing, sir?
I'm okay. I'm alone tonight, so I'm okay.
Got the house all to the self, huh?
All by myself. I'm out to sleep with the lights on.
Uh-oh. Like that, huh?
Nah, I'm just kidding. It's just been a
One of
while.
those one of those kind of nights.
Yeah. Yeah, I get all scared if I'm alone.
Do you really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I was up here alone for 6 months by myself when I first moved up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
kind of got used to it. So you were scared at first, but now you're used to it.
More scared just being out in a city that I don't know. More than just than being scared. I was just lonely. You
Yeah.
get used to your lady, your kids, all the noises. Like I don't hear noises inside, so it's uncomfortable not hearing noises inside.
I think that's probably like the most hardest to get used to is like not hearing noise. Cause like whenever the boys go to their grandma or something like that to like spend the weekend or whatever, spend the week, it's like we're here at the house and it's just like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
Like there's no kids to yell at. There's.
But noise is comforting because if I'm hearing noise, then they're okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It puts you in like a whole different mode. And I
yeah.
wonder if everyone else kind of feels that way. So you know, people are following along with these episodes and hear this, right? It's like when your significant other or your kids leave the house, what do you do?
Are you really having fun? And if you are
Are
happy,
you, yeah, are you lost? Like, do you feel as lost as what I do when my kids go to the grandparents' house and there's nothing else to do? Because, we're not the night stalkers anymore, man. Like, we don't go out to the bars or anything like that. I mean, occasionally we'll go have like a drink, maybe here and there, but it's got to be mostly like a special occasion. But outside of that, it's like we really don't go out like that no more. You know what I mean? Those days
mm.
have that ship has sailed long time ago.
For real. For
You know what
real,
I mean?
bro.
I mean,
Nah.
unless we get together with like some old friends and whatever, it's like, somebody's birthday and they're turning, whatever. It's like, all right, let's go turn up. Let's go show these youngins how it's done. And then we realize that we can't hang with these youngins. So then we end up going home early. That or you find yourself downtown San Antonio at a food truck instead of at the bar. You're like, all right, I can't hang out at the bar, but I can hang with some food. Let's go
I can
search
eat
for some
some I can
food.
eat some food.
I can go ham right now on a fucking taco. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
Food's always the answer after a bad or good night. It don't matter. Just go get some
Absolutely,
food.
bro. Just go get some food. Anytime. Doesn't matter.
You don't
Hey,
know what to get? Just go get some Whataburger.
but some of these food trucks, bro, they be hitting hard
Yeah, dude, food trucks are like the place to go.
right now, bro. And there's so many parks now here in San Antonio that just have like nothing but food trucks, bro. There's one place out here. It's called, I think it's called literally this. I think it's called That Taco Place. I think that's what it's called. Birria
Gotcha.
tacos, bro. Fire, son.
Yeah.
Fire. Oh, dude.
One
Ham.
to 10.
I'd go like 8-3. Like 8-3.
Damn.
Really, really freaking good. Maybe we might have a video. Maybe we might shoot a video. Next
You're
time we
gonna have
decide to
to.
go out there, we'll shoot a video and I'll do like a little taste testing, grading type of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, Guy
Speaking
Fieri
of,
has the best job.
yeah, well, so speaking of which, right? So we have a guy here in San Antonio, a local guy, that kind of does something similar to Guy Fieri. So he, believe it's called San Antonio Eats or something of that nature. I forget now. But anyways, he goes around to all the local restaurants, taste testing all their food and kind of giving his recommendation of how it tastes, yada yada yada, whatever. Well, I was up at work and this dude was over here at the dealership shooting a commercial for one of the local dealerships here in San Antonio. They kind of did like a little partnership thing. I was like, damn, all
Dang.
right, my boy
There you
getting up
go.
there good. Over there working
Yeah.
himself a free F-150, you know what I'm saying?
There you go. That's one way to get it.
He said, "I'm gonna get me an F-150 out this commercial." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're like, hey, would you like to collab? We'll pay you. Like, nah, I'll take a truck.
Yeah, yeah. Forget the cash, dog.
I'll take a platinum. Something slight.
And, and tonight's drink of choice, ladies and gentlemen, pineapple soda, Hill Country Fair.
Very interesting choice of beverage.
Very good, sir. Very delicious. Super addictive.
Yeah.
This right here, 8.5, 8.5 for sure.
Even better than the birria.
Yes, because it's super addicting.
Interesting. I myself never been a pineapple drink type of guy, but
Uh
I'll
huh.
tear some pineapples up. Like today, speaking of food trucks, we have like this old man that comes to work and he knocks on the back of our door and he opens up and he's like, fruit, fruit. And I'm like, hell yeah, what you got? And he's be like, sandia, I got peanut, pepino, melon, cantaloupe. And he starts naming them. And then
Oh,
you go to his truck and you just look at all the fruit. And he's like, which one you want? And I pick. And then he'll be like, chamoy, tahin, salimon. And you're like, all of it. Bro, he'll give you a takeout box. He fills that thing up, son. He
bro.
and it's only $10.
Dude, fruit stands always hook it up, bro. Especially Mexican fruit stands, bro. You'll get more than what you paid for in those things.
Oh, dude, fact. So if you get one fruit, it's $5. If you get two or more, it's $10. I'll be getting watermelon, pineapple, cucumber, and melon or something. But
Oh
like
yeah,
today I had orange. He had oranges. Oh, I don't know how you get fresh orange in December, but it was fresh as fuck, son.
yeah,
Oh, dude, it was so good. It was so good. The fruit he had today was so fresh, and I don't understand how he got it so fresh because we're quite literally in winter.
that's because them boys don't stop working, dog.
No, bro, he's a hustler because if you say no,
Hell yeah, they are.
he's like chips. I got some chips. He go, tortas. You
You're
want a
all,
torta?
you're all, nah, man. I ain't got no cash today. That's okay. I take Cash App.
I got Zell.
I got Zelle.
That's what he told me. He's like,
I got Square. You can swipe your card. Shit, even the homeless motherfuckers got Square these days, bro.
yes, bro.
I'm telling you, you can't even get by nobody this anymore. Nah,
These
brother, I ain't got no change on me. That's cool, dog. I got Cash App on my phone. Like, how the fuck you homeless and have a phone?
it's because the government gives them phones for free so they can get tracked.
Is that a fact or you just
No, that's for real. My dad was homeless. The government, yeah, he would get free phones all the time, bro. But that's
what
like
the hell?
yeah, they give him free phones and they could track them.
Wild, bro. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Chat, that's something new that you learn.
yeah, it's crazy, bro.
Damn. Yeah, I had no freaking clue, man. I was over here like, again, you're going down the road, dude. You're just, you got the guy on the street, and it's like big. Like
I mean, think about it.
this
You,
light
you,
can't turn green fast enough, bro. I'm all
I mean, think about it, bro. You think that man is going inside Cricket or Pocket Mobile and paying that $50 every month?
oh no.
Hell no, bro. He ain't keeping up with that shit,
There'd be some good citizens around if they were doing that, son.
right?
But I'm like, bro, are you serious right now? It's like shit, bro. I remember reading an article. I want to say I was back in like high school or something. We had to do this research on social something, whatever. But anyways, I ended up stumbling across an article that I read. It was like in a California news website article place that there was a guy that lived somewhere in LA, right? And
Mhm.
he didn't have a job, but the dude was like a millionaire.
Mm,
And but what he would do was every day he would pull up on like Rodeo Drive or something like that. He'd roll up on across the street, park. He'd get into some homeless clothes, and he'd go stand on the corner with like a homeless sign or whatever, and he would stand out there for like 8 hours a day and just collect. And he did that like every day. This dude had a full blown house. He had himself a car, had himself everything, but he was just straight up getting money from people going down the road, and it was all untaxed. But
yeah,
that was his, he didn't have a job, but that was his job.
that was his job. I
We
remember.
inside, but we outside. You know
I
what I'm
remember.
saying?
I remember watching that same video a while back. That is crazy, bro.
And I was just like, "Holy shit, are you serious, bro?"
This guy got it
I'm
all
not.
figured out.
This guy figured he broke the code. I got to check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is that why you're growing it out?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it like freshened up. That's why I put a couple patches right there. You know what I'm saying? That's on purpose. That's not natural.
That's funny, bro. That's
Yeah,
too funny.
right. Nah, dude. But anyway, like I said, I just remember reading the article and I was just kind of like, I was just shocked but at the same time, it's like, man, how 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 does someone think of something like that to, just to come up with that sort of idea and
Very
whatever. It's just
manipulative.
like, yeah,
No soul.
definitely not a guy that you probably want to hang around with because he probably take your money.
Yeah.
But you know what I
You
mean?
probably show up to your house poor.
Right, exactly. Eat your food and then leave.
You're gonna start seeing homeless people with digital signs.
There was another video recently actually that just surfaced too talking about Elon Musk
Wow,
and
about
talking
what?
about how the guy was just saying that Elon Musk doesn't have any money, like physical money. Like
Oh yeah,
his
yeah,
money's all like in stocks and crypto and all that bullshit. And so uh the person interviewing him was like, "Well, how do you figure that?" And he's like, "Well, he's like, think about it." He's like, "Why would you have?" And saying that he doesn't have any taxable income.
yeah,
That's how he's so as rich as he is. That what he's doing is that he goes, when you have an actual income, he goes, um, that's taxable. And
yeah,
I think he said that that's why he asked for the Tesla stock, for him to be paid by Tesla in stocks, not in actual money, because stocks you can't get taxed on unless you cash them out.
yeah,
But so what he does is he has, tens of millions of dollars in stocks at Tesla. He then goes to a bank and tells them, gets a loan out on those stocks.
yeah.
And that loan that you get out is not taxable because it's not an income.
Yep.
It's a loan. And then he pays it back with the stocks. And therefore he just keeps, loaning out money, pulling out a loan, paying it off, pulling out a loan, paying it off. And none of it's taxable.
Yep. That's what all rich people do, bro.
Yeah, we need to learn how to do all that shit, my bro. You know what I'm saying?
Learn, my boy. I put you on.
Oh, you like that, huh?
We'll talk in private. No, I'm just kidding. Ain't nothing
Yeah.
private about it. But no, dude, yeah, no, it's no secret. Like that just goes back to like even like when Donald Trump and what's her name, Hillary Clinton were beefing,
Mhm.
and she was trying to get rid of all those tax codes, and he hit her with the same tax code you and your friends use. Like that's what they're talking about, bro. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
like no rich like these rich people they don't pay taxes because just like how you said, there's ways around it to where it shows that you have a zero income, so it's not taxable. You put everything in your
Exactly.
stocks, you put everything in the real estate, and you borrow against that.
Well, and then you pull out the loans where you can
Yeah,
pay them back with your stocks. You find those banks that will do that. You know what I mean?
and it's just a continuous cycle.
Mhm.
And while your money's in there, it's just building more money up, and it's not just sitting
Yep, and that's why they
like right.
take that shit to heart whenever the markets crash like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
well, they
Because
control the market.
those stocks are in, they're
They
very valuable.
control they control the market. Like
Who's they?
the majority owners. Like
Mhm.
if like Elon can't just go out and pull like so much money out of Tesla. Like he can't sell so much stocks. He can't be like, hey, I want to sell like 100 shares of Tesla. Like there has to be like a meeting about that shit first in
Yeah.
private before he does that because it's gonna break the market.
Mhm.
So like the big people who are like in it in the circle, they know before the market's gonna fall, or like they kind of have a better they have more of an idea than us because ultimately they're the ones making the decisions that control it.
For sure. No, that makes sense.
We're just pawns, bro.
Oh, we are pawns on the chessboard, bro. That's all it is. Every working class citizen person is a pawn on the chessboard.
For now, yeah, yeah.
You know what I
We're
mean?
just pawns for now.
Unless you're one of those guys that's talking about making, what is it, a six-figure salary, probably a seven-figure salary. I mean, that was a little bit different, but for the middle class of working Americans like us, bro, we're all in it to just provide oil to the machine. It just keeps working and working. I was
Yeah.
actually I actually got caught up in a TikTok video the other day. I was driving back from I believe I was driving back from Alice. It was yesterday. I got caught up in this video, and this guy was talking about the system with just work in general.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And then he's talking about how ADHD kids they weren't they weren't born that way. They were invented.
Yep.
He's talking about the ADHD syndrome itself was invented. It wasn't something that people are born with. And he dates it. He goes back into talking about the Rockefeller days and how
Yep.
Rockefeller, him and a lot of the other that modern tech America would consider them the founding fathers of America, right? So you have like
Hmm.
um, J.P. Morgan, you got Rockefeller, Carnegie, guys like that, guys, for steel and oil and finance and all that good jazz. Those are
Yeah.
the original pioneers of America. And so Rockefeller is the one that kind of incorporated or introduced the school system in which you basically force the kids to instill into this idea that they need to sit still for 8 hours a day and they need to be obedient and they have to listen and all that good jazz. And it wasn't to educate them, it was to mold
Control.
them into control. You give away your free will, and it gets them prepared for once they get old enough to start working. That's what the labor life looks like. That's what the labor force looks like. And
Yeah.
so uh, he goes into talking about, well, what happens when you have a couple of kids that don't possess the ability to sit still. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
instead of looking at the cage, which was the system, they looked
They
at the
call it a
person
flawed
in the
shield. This
cage.
child.
Yeah, they don't call the cage flawed, they call the child flawed. And dude, he goes on a almost a 10-minute rant talking about it. And it just got me deep into my mode because, dude, I love stuff like that.
Do you know
I
who it
love
was?
reading into it. I don't, but I did save his video.
It sounds like Dr. Gobert Mate. Was he like an older Indian guy?
No, no, this was like a white guy.
Okay.
White guy, scruffy beard, nerdy kind of looking.
Mm,
He was it looked like he was kind of doing just like a podcast video, but for
mm.
himself, like he was doing it privately. And I was just like, holy shit, bro.
Yeah,
I'm almost tempted to message the guy, but I don't know if it's his actual account.
that goes back to like our Tim Kennedy when I told you about his school. That one guy that created the different school system.
Yeah, the one in Austin, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
There you go. This goes back to all that same
Dude,
stuff.
and we truly need more stuff like that.
Hmm.
We really
Yeah.
do. I mean,
Yeah.
something's gotta give because the schooling system is all jacked up, dude. Like, the way that it just everything works. Um, I mean, hell, dude, I was down in Eagle Pass, and I found out, dude, that they have out in Eagle Pass, they have a overwhelming amount of kids that are suffering right now from, like, autistic behaviors, where the kids don't talk. Um, I was speaking to somebody down there, and they were telling me that their child, they have a 4-year-old that has never spoken a word, and they can't figure out why. And so they constantly come up here to see a specialist to try to see if they can get him working, to see if they can get him talking or whatever, whatever it is that they do. And I said, man, I said, they don't have services like that down here. She goes, no. She goes, they don't have anything like that. I was like, well, you think that they would? I was like, most places typically do. And she goes, well, not down here. And but she's like, but we seriously need one. She goes, because there's an overwhelming amount of kids. She goes, just in my kids' class, there's 26 kids that all have the same exact problem.
Damn.
And I was like,
I
holy
believe it
shit.
because LJ was like that.
So it's like, it just makes me wonder, like, well, first off, it makes me wonder why something like that's even happening. Like, is it something in their food? Is it something that they ate? Is it a vaccination that they may have taken? Um,
That's where I'm at.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the reason I say vaccinations is because we had to go get Steven a couple of vaccinations done in order for him to go to school. So okay, no big deal. You know what I mean? It was
You
I
can
can't
opt out of
remember
those, though. You know that.
well, I can't remember the names of the ones that they were again, but I remember taking them as a child around his age myself. So I was like, okay, I was like, I remember taking those two. Yeah, I should be fine. And I don't have a problem with those. So we go into the pediatric center where we take him to get all of his stuff done. We take him there, and I go to talk to the lady at the front desk, and she's like, I was like, yeah, I was like, I just need to get those 2 vaccinations. And she goes, okay. She's like, well, he's actually overdue for 5 vaccinations. And I was like, 5? I was like, there's only 2. And she goes, oh, no, 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 there's 5. And I said, well, what other ones are they? So she spits off the 2 that I know. And then she spits off another 3 that I'm like, I've never heard of those before, ma'am. I said, can you explain what those are to me? And she goes, um, well, I don't really know. And I looked at her and I said, ma'am, I said, how are you going to sit here and tell me that my son's behind on 5 vaccinations and 3 of them you don't even know what they are? Because she's spitting them off in the acronym that they're given. And I
Yeah.
said, well, what's the full name? She's like, well, I'm not sure. I said, well, how do you not know?
Hmm.
And I know that some people are going to be like, well, she's the receptionist, bro. She's not supposed to know. Well, no, you should know.
You're selling a product that's
You're
going in
the
my
you're
child's
the
body.
first point of contact. You're the first point of contact when I walk in here. You should be able to answer the question. It's as
Hmm.
simple as that. And so she didn't know. I'm not even joking, bro. She Googled them right in front of me. Come to find out that they were like a couple of different vaccinations for some exotic rare cancer that like happens in like one in out of every 2 million people. And so I told her, I was like, are those mandatory for him to go to school? And she goes, no. And I said, okay, well then no. I was like, I'm gonna opt out of that stuff. I said, I don't know what that is, but you're not gonna be sticking my kid with some medication that you can't even pronounce correctly. You don't even know what it is, and you just had to Google it right in front of me. Mind you, there's a showroom full of people, a bunch of moms that are all in for the same thing because it's kind of nearing towards the beginning of the school year.
Yeah. So everyone's
I
going
should
last minute.
I shit you not, bro. I went and sat down, and at least 2 moms stood up and went to go talk to the lady at the front desk and opted out of those same ones. And
Heck
it's like,
yeah.
yeah, bro, like there's no reason to go off
No.
and stick your kid with all this crap that you don't even know what it is. You don't know what they're putting in there.
Yeah.
And the only
It
reason I
has.
feel comfortable with the 2 is because I got them as a kid myself, and so I've been hit with it before. I mean, granted, I'm hit getting giving them a different strain of it, or they're getting a different strain. It's coming out of a different vial, but I'm comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with you sticking them with some other crap that you're hitting me with that I've never even heard of. But yeah.
Yeah. It was probably like a Hep C or something. I don't know. Hepatitis shot or whatever. And then like a, what is it? Mono shot. Isn't that what you usually get before you go to school?
Yeah, I think it was the hep shot that he got, but
Yeah. I don't
something
know.
of the
I
nature.
like to blame. I like to blame the vaccines because LJ at one point he was doing really good, and then I feel
Mm,
like after a couple checkups, after he got poked a couple of times, he started to decline.
mm,
Not necessarily like in thought, but like in his speech and his like focus. Like ever
yeah,
like it was started to decline. Like he's super smart. He's incredibly smart. But like his speech just went down. And it was weird because when he was a baby, we got him to like to say dad, dad, mama, baba. Like, like baby talk, we got him like up there pretty fast. And he
yeah,
was doing pretty good, but then out of nowhere it just kind of like just shut off.
damn.
And we didn't know what happened. So like now we have
Yeah,
our baby, well not our baby, but my daughter, who at his age, he wasn't saying much, but now she's just like doesn't shut up. So it's like, okay, whew, we raised two different like two different kids. Like, okay, we did something right this time, or at least like that's how like I don't know how to take it, but like it's like dang, like it's just weird to see. Not weird, but it's cool. Like okay,
yeah.
but my daughter hasn't gotten the vaccines. Like we've my two daughters we've opted out a lot of the vaccines already.
Yep, and it's also funny too because you talk about how you feel like you raise two different kids, like on the completely different ends of the table. So it's like for us, it feels the same way too with both Steven and Caleb. Steven came out perfectly fine. Everything was good. He can read, write, everything. I mean, his eyes are all jacked up, but he gets that from his mom. But I mean, that's just like a hereditary thing. It wasn't like anything that we couldn't explain why. But Caleb,
Yeah,
on the other hand, he's full blown dyslexic. He's got it. He's got all three forms of dyslexia, which is your hearing, your vision, and yeah, your hearing, your vision, and speaking.
just
So
gets it all mixed up.
yeah, so it's all jacked up. And for the longest time, he couldn't put together sentences. He couldn't put together words. You try to teach him math numbers, and he's reading the numbers backwards. He would even read.
He
So
would
like when
write
he would
backwards, right?
well, he wouldn't write backwards, but what he would do is like, for example, if he's reading, if he's reading a sentence, he'll read like the fifth word of the sentence first, and then
So
the
it's
first
weird.
first word he'll read it like as the fifth word. If or the first word he would read as the fifth word, the fifth word he'd read as the first word, and then he would more or less get everything else about right. But it was always jacked up. And then, like, say for example, he was reading a double digit number, like say he had 12, he would read it
Hmm.
as 21
Oh wow,
because he's seeing it backwards. He's seeing it in reverse order.
wow,
Yeah. So like
interesting.
he struggled really hard, especially coming up. And here's the other thing too, right? So this is where I think that the schooling system's kind of fucked up. So down in Corpus has an amazing curriculum that I don't think that they get enough credit for. But
Really,
when
you think so?
Oh yeah, especially where we were at Galvan Elementary, they have an amazing curriculum. So when Stephen was in kindergarten and first grade over there, they were teaching them words. They first when they first start teaching them how to read, they teach them how to read small pieces of the word first. So they teach you like the sounds. For example, like ch.
Yeah.
So they put ch together, and then they would teach you what that sounds like. Ch, ch, you know, and they do it with all of them. CH, SH, GH, OU, all that good jazz. And
Yeah.
they would piece together the words, and then they would give you sight words to go off and read. So they'll give you 100 sight words a year, and then every 6 weeks they would break down those 100. So for example, like the first 6 weeks, you had to do like 30 sight words. You had to try
Hmm.
to read, memorize them, and you had to be able to use them like in sentences, or at least be able to tell the teacher what it meant. And so it's a very slow breakdown of how to read. Well, Steven's an avid learner. He's an avid reader, like can read tremendously. Over here, we fast forward, we moved to San Antonio. We come over here. We were at Northside and we were also at in Medina Valley. When he's in kindergarten, they don't do it that way. It doesn't have sight words or anything. What they were doing was is they were giving him paragraphs to read. And he would have to come home and we would have to time him so he would get 60 seconds to read as many words as he could as fast as he could. And we had to time him and count how many words he would read accurately within that 1 minute. And it would drive me crazy. And so I called the
That's
teacher up and because he was struggling. And so I called the teacher up and I said, ma'am, I said, you realize that he's in kindergarten. He doesn't know how to read. And she was like, well, yes, I understand that, but that's what we're trying to work with him on. We're trying to work on his reading skills. I said, no, you're not. You're trying to work on the speed at which he reads. I said, I don't need, there's nothing about nothing is going to happen in a 5 year old's life or in a 4 year old's life that is going to require him to read fast. I said,
yeah.
I don't care about the quantity of words he reads. I care about the quality at which he reads. And you're not teaching them quality, you're teaching them quantity. You're trying to speed things
Yeah.
along. And
Yeah.
she said that that's
She's
what the
trying to
state
shove. That's so dumb. She's trying to shove as many words as possible in their brain rather than teach them what the word means.
exactly, and how to piece together words.
She's
So
trying to walk before they can crawl.
pretty much more like she's trying to get them to run before they can even stand up right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
That's
like,
crazy.
yeah. So we went on with that man, and he struggled. He struggled mightily, and then we had to put him in a special program. We had to get him like an IEP done with the state, so that way they can get involved to diagnose him with dyslexia. And then from there, he got like speech therapist. He got a speech therapist. He got all these other things. His tests have to be read out loud to him. He gets extra time to do the test because it takes him longer to read. And when he started going to those classes, they started giving him homework to bring home. Well, ironically, that was the same homework that Steven was getting when he was in kindergarten in Corpus.
They
And I
want to
looked
try to skip it. That's crazy.
and I looked at my wife and I said, "Look at this." I was like, "This is the same stuff. This is how they taught Steven how to read."
Yeah.
What's funny is he goes to that whole program. Mind you, he's only going there 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day. He did it for 3 years straight. Only 20 minutes. Steven had an entire year every day. This is how they got taught type of shit.
Yeah.
So it took him a lot longer, but fast forward, he's in the 5th grade. Now he reads really well. Reads really well. His sentences, he still struggles with writing and stuff like that. But in terms of his reading, night and day difference. I'm like,
Nice.
why are you not teaching every kid this way?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Bro, you know what's crazy?
Hmm.
I read like your son.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what goes on when I read, but for whatever reason, when I start reading, I can never read a paragraph or a sentence like in order. I'll start and be like it'd be like I'm gonna exaggerate because so like this is an invoice starting 12/31/25. That's like the beginning, and then I'll jump and be like, you may result and like skip the whole paragraph and then go back to access to Harris County, and then like I don't know, like I go. back and forth from the top to the bottom of the paragraph, and
Yeah,
I can't I can never finish a sentence like in its entirety without going to like another sentence or a different paragraph.
might be dyslexic, dog.
I don't know. I think I'm just super impatient. Like
Yeah,
I think
I mean, I
I
go to
think I skip to the end and try to sum it up, and if I can't, I keep reading until I can.
yeah. I mean, I'll kind of sort of do the same thing. Like I'm not very good. I'm not very like fond of reading. Although lately I have been picking up more books than usual, and so I do find myself reading a little bit more these days. But that's never been like my mo. Like that's never been something that I've really enjoyed doing. And it's because like I'll be like reading into a story, and if I get like super interested in it, I just want to like fast forward to the end to see what it and it's like there's
Yeah.
an urge inside me that I can't help myself but to like look and read like the last page. But then like even just in a chapter, like I'll be reading through and I'll start at the first paragraph and I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me see what's on the next page real quick. And so I'll jump over to the next page for no reason at all. And I'll read that and I'm like, oh shit, okay, I gotta go back and I gotta go read this other page because I skipped ahead. For me, I think it's just like like I the anxiety or the anxiousness of wanting to
Finishing.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's funny.
that feeling, it just takes over and I can't control myself. So I oftentimes, get bum myself out when I'm reading. But I do like listening to audiobooks now too. Audiobooks seem to get it
I
through to me.
I love
And if
audiobooks, man.
and I what I also found is a lot easier for me too, to control that urge
Mm,
is reading the book while listening to the audiobook at the same time. So just following it along, I
yeah.
found that is a lot easier for me to control that urge.
Well, reading out loud helps too.
I mumble talk when I read out loud, and so then I end up like falling asleep.
Well, that's not reading out loud. That's mumbling.
That's out loud.
No.
But
Speaking of out loud, though,
no.
no,
Anyways, man, we kind of got off on a little tangent here, man. We were supposed to be talking about some sports topics, man.
I know, but I brought up kids, and I guess that's the soft topic to us.
It's all it's all good, man. I think we all kind of need to get a little bit off topic from time to time. You know what I mean? I think it kind of helps balance out the mind. You know what I mean? Sometimes we get
Yeah,
so caught up in the agenda that we forget to just kind of let things happen. Let a conversation flow. This is meant for long form conversation anyway, right?
yeah.
Which is healthy. It's healthy to the body,
Mhm.
but when you're kind of scripted in a sense of what you're going to be talking about, it kind of takes away from the natural tone and the natural flow. But nonetheless, I don't know about you, but I wanted to get into talking about um, the college football playoffs because I had something on my mind because obviously, huge Texas fan, Longhorns all day. Obviously, they didn't make it to the playoffs, but
They didn't.
I, you know, they didn't make it to the playoffs, but there was a lot of talk, because Sarkeesian had came out and really kind of tried validating why they should make it after they beat A&M. He tried validating it, and a lot of people kind of I don't want to say in the media, but really just kind of people in general were like, no, dude, you're trying to sit here and downplay the Ohio State game because he kept saying that the Ohio State game is the reason why they're not making it to the playoffs. And they're like, no, it's not the Ohio State game, it's the Florida game. But if you listen to the context in which he's speaking about the Ohio State game, he's speaking to it in terms of the fact that Ohio State was an out of conference opponent, which for those people who don't know, right, who just watch the game and don't actually pay attention to the details, for those people who don't know, every single every single season, each college team has to schedule out of conference opponents. So they get with these other teams, depending on who they are, right? They get with these other schools and ask them if they want to play against one another. Take the Ohio State game, for example. They got with Ohio State, or Ohio State got with them. They both accepted the challenge and said, yeah, we'll play you. So they signed a 2-year deal. So Texas this year had to go visit Ohio State. next year you're going to see Ohio State come visit Texas. It's a 2-year agreement that they had to sign off on.
Okay.
So they did that. Now, most teams typically won't schedule, especially if you're a Power 5 conference or a Power 5 school, most Power 5 schools won't go select Power 5 teams to play against because it factors into your win-loss record. That's how the committee typically sees it, is based on your win-loss record. So why would you go risk your record to go play a Power 5 school? So what do people do? They pick these G5 schools,
It's
that
like
are just
boxing.
yeah, that have, they have limited funds, so their talent is inept compared to the talent that you carry, and those games often wind up in blowouts. Those are those games that you see that's like 56 to nothing or 63 to 0 or 35-0. Just, they're just complete blowouts.
The
But
morale
how
boosters.
yeah, but Power 5 schools will do that because they don't want to jeopardize the record. Well, if you look at the slate of the NCAA over the last few years, they've now been judging based on how well you lose. Because obviously, with the whole NIL deal that's come around, now these kids can get paid to play. It's kind of spread out the talent across the field now.
Yeah.
Where, back in the day, it used to be Alabama and Texas, OU, USC. Those were like the top notch schools, Georgia being another one of them, the U, right? So those were like the top notch schools. They had all the talent. Well,
Hmm.
a lot of the talent would never even get seen because their 4 years of eligibility would go up before they ever even have a chance to take the field. And so even if you were a good player, no one ever knew you because if there was somebody else that was a little bit better than you, they took the field first.
Yeah.
Well, now with NIL, now these schools can pay these college athletes and say, "Hey, you know what? Well, I'll pay you X amount of dollars if you come play with me." So now you see the talent level spread out. That's why you have these schools like Indiana coming out of nowhere and SMU from last year and Oregon coming out of the blue, just like, with all these crazy with all these crazy talents coming out of Oregon. And so with that being said, right? So both teams wouldn't have selected each other knowing that the loss would have hurt them. That's why they scheduled it, because the committee was also looking at, well, how well do you lose against quality opponents? And if you watch that
Okay.
game, they only lost by 7 points. It was a one-score game.
Yeah, that was
Um,
probably one of the first. That was probably one of the only college games I actually watched. I was in Corpus, and I think I watched it at Wings and More.
yeah. And so I'm not going to say, so for the people who are saying that no, it's the Florida loss that's keeping you out of the playoffs, I'm not saying that they're wrong. They have every reason to feel that way, and they're 100% accurate. Texas should have never lost that. However, that loss wouldn't have even mattered if they would have never scheduled a quality opponent with their out of conference play. Look at Georgia. I think it was Georgia. I think Georgia scheduled UT Martin. You never even heard of them. You don't even know what state those guys are in. And
UT
it was
Martin.
yeah, it was a complete blowout. But that was their out of conference opponent. Now, why do they schedule that? Because it's easy. It pads their stats, it makes them look good, and that's where they were at, why they were at where they were at.
Yeah.
Ohio State, outside of Texas, the quality of their opponents really wasn't that good. Just call it what it is, right? No one's knocking them for that. In fact, it's actually benefiting them because of how bad they beat up on those opponents. It's no
Mm.
different than Texas playing UTSA right now. UTSA would be a G5 school, right? And stuff like that happens. So
What's G5? What do you mean?
it's a group 5, so it's like 5 different conferences. It's the other five conferences that exist outside of like the SEC, the
Oh, okay.
ACC, the Big 10, Pac-12, Big
Pac-10,
12.
Pac-12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Hmm.
but again, unfortunate. So for me, I want to see the Ohio State game. I want to see Texas play against Oregon. I want to see them play against these big dogs. But after this year, or well, really after next year, because they have to play Ohio State again. But following that year, that's it. You're no longer going to see these Power Five schools unless they're within the same conference. So like the SEC, you're going to see some stout competition. But outside of that, you're not going to see any of these SEC teams pick up any of these Big Ten teams. They're not going to pick up any Pac 12. They're not going to pick up any Big 12. They're not going to pick up Big 10. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to pick up anybody. They're going to go play people that you've never heard of, and it's going to be a flat out blowout, and it's going to be non fun to watch. And it's because the NCAA has taken it away from us based on how they judged Texas in that loss versus Ohio State. So again,
Yeah.
I'm not knocking fans for saying that, oh, what's the Florida loss? I get it. But at the same time, there's two sides. There's both ends of the table, and that's what we're doing here. We're looking at it from both ends. You know what I mean? And
I know what you mean, Steve.
I'm gonna err on the side of not scheduling a tough opponent in your in your out of conference games.
So you wouldn't schedule a tough opponent
No, moving forward,
because you're scared of losing, and losing ultimately makes or breaks your chances. So like uh, the best way I can think about this is like in the UFC. That's what makes the UFC so interesting because you have your rankings, right? You have your weight classes, then you have your rankings. And if like if rank number 5 loses to rank number 1, he can still beat someone and then go for a championship because losing to number 1 doesn't weigh as much as losing to someone lower than him. To where like if he lost to someone lower than him, now he has to win 2 or 3 fights in a row. Rather than if he lost to like the number 1 guy, he only needs to win like 1 fight or maybe 2 fights to get back into the title shot.
mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like what you would want to happen. Since I lost to Ohio State, you know, 2 losses to another to like what is equal to 1 loss to Ohio State type of shit,
I
right?
gotcha. More or less. I mean, at the end of the day, is that they didn't judge Texas based on the quality of opponent that they played. And that's where it kind of gets mixed up, is because if you look at
Yeah.
last year, Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, a team that you don't know where they're at. I mean, granted, you know where they're at because of the name, but you don't know them. You know what I mean? You don't know who they are. Name me a player on their team. I bet you can't. I bet you can't name me a coach. I bet you can't even name me a player that's ever come out of that school.
Not
Without
Northern
having a
Illinois,
boot.
but I can name Eastern Illinois.
But you see my point. So they were an unranked out of conference team that had no business. And mind you, they went into Notre Dame's home field and beat them 14-16.
Where was Rudy?
And what's funny was is that nobody said anything about that loss. Nobody was they still let Notre Dame into the playoffs at that point. So how does that make any sense? You see what I
Dang.
mean? But yet the committee's
Yeah.
going to keep Texas out because of that loss to Ohio State, albeit it was only by 7 points. I mean, the game was literally 7-14.
I can name you
It was,
about 10 alumni from Ohio State
oh
right
yeah,
off the bat.
you can go on for days with schools like Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, OU, A&M, USC. I mean, they're the list.
LSU,
There's great LSU's another one too, right? Like you can just name some really good players that come out of these schools, but
even the
nonetheless,
Gators.
it's like, okay, you didn't take that into consideration, because also too, the committee this year was also taking a look at Notre Dame's 2 losses, one of them to Miami, and I can't remember who the other one was to, but they started off the season 0-2, and they were getting the edge into the playoffs because they said that the quality of their losses was really good. And I don't know who gets rewarded for losing, but if you're going to live off of that logic, then by logic, by your own theory, you should put Texas in if that's the case. Because
Yeah,
Florida's record, albeit it was a terrible record when we played them, I think they were 2-3 at the time, but the record did not actually tell the truth behind how talented that team was. That Florida team this year was extremely talented before they start dealing with injuries. Then the coach got fired and all that good jazz. That Florida team, you can ask anyone leading up to that game. That Florida game was everyone was like, dude, you got to watch this game because Florida's going to give Texas a fight. They're not going to go down without a fight. Well, then they ended up getting that 1-2 punch knockout in. You know what I mean?
yeah. What was the ending? What was the score? What was that score?
I don't remember what the score is off the top of my head, and I don't have it here sitting right in front of me. But I just know that we ended up taking that L. I think they sacked Arch Manning quite a few times. I think he threw in a couple of interceptions. I mean, dude, it was god awful. We had a terrible game plan offensively for against Florida,
Mm.
but I think that Arch learned a lot about himself. I think he learned a lot about his line in that game. Um, because I mean, he winded up playing much better as the season started to progress. But nonetheless, it's like the rules for the college committee is just so fucked off at this point that you don't know how to even gauge anything anymore.
Yeah,
And then they let Alabama in the playoffs still, and they're a 3-loss team as well. So you can't tell me that it's a 3-loss team. Mind you, they played against Georgia. They got blowed out against Georgia in the SEC championship game. They got blown out.
mm.
Texas didn't get blown
When
out
was
by
this?
Georgia this year, just last week.
Oh shit! For real?
Hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on it. Again, I don't think I'm not disagreeing with people saying that there's no excuse for the Florida loss, but I don't think that that's the legitimate reason as to why they're being held out of the playoffs. Again, if they would have never scheduled Ohio State and if they would just schedule somebody like UTSA or Rice or something like that, they'd be in the playoffs right now, and we'd be having a total different conversation.
Hmm.
So that's it.
Do you think Arch ultimately ends up in the NFL
Well, of course he's going to go to the NFL, but he's not
just
going to
because
go
the
this
last
year.
name?
He's not going to go this year.
You think the last name takes him, or you think the talent will actually take him?
Well, make no mistake about it. The name carries weight for sure. You're not going to not draft a Manning. That's a fact, Jack. That whole entire family was built for football. Just plain and simple. You know what I mean? And when you look at what Eli and Peyton did, then you look at Arch Manning, the grandpa. I mean, um, even Arch's dad was a good football player. He just didn't. I forget what happened to him and why.
He was a receiver. I think he broke his leg or something.
Yeah, something of that nature, right? And so,
Some
but
type of
even
injury kept him off.
yeah, but it's like, dude, that family was built for football, quite literally, dating all the way back from their grandpappy days. So it's like you're not going to not draft a Manning. Now, do I think he's going to come out guns blazing? I don't know, but that's why he's most likely going to not opt into the NFL draft this year. He's going to go back for another year at Texas.
Yeah, good. He needs to. I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't seen much of him play. I watched a couple of the beginning of the season uh, when I had the time to do it, and he looked very, very off. And I remember the whole thing came. You came and told me that he was playing through an injury, and you're showing me some videos of like his shoulder. He would make a face
Well,
every time he threw.
it looked like he was playing through injury, but they said it wasn't. They never confirmed it. They always denied it.
Really? But how does it? So how's he looking from the beginning of the season to when I was like, "Yo, what the heck is going on with the Longhorns?" to now?
So now he looked a lot better. He was starting to hit some wide open targets like he should. He was starting to hit guys in stride. He started looking up the middle of the field. The middle, he was missing the middle of the field. That was his biggest issue. And I think that moving into the offseason this year, going into next season, for me personally, that's what I want to see an improvement on is him being able to go through his progressions and actually see the middle of the field because there was
Yeah,
numerous of times where people were wide open in the middle of the field and he's not even looking that way. He's looking down the sideline. And so I don't know if he was maybe trying to go for the explosive play rather than
yeah,
trying to get the first down or something like that. But I do want to see I want to see a jump in his ability to read the field as he's going through his progressions. But then I also need to be able to see a better offensive line next year too, because they could not protect him to save his life. Even our running game went to shit this year. Our running game went to shit this year. I think CJ Baxter put in a request for transfer, and it's probably because that offensive line is not doing their job like they typically do.
just doo doo. You
Yeah.
think he avoids the middle of the field and throws to the sideline more to avoid a higher chance of an interception?
Um, I mean that could be, but I mean at the same time, I really truly feel like he's searching for some sort of explosive play or trying to maybe he's trying to showcase a talent that doesn't exist yet. That's not part of his game. And I think that he just needs to be himself and play true to himself because here's the other side to it too, right? When he was in Louisiana playing high school ball, he was taking those deep shots down the field. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Throwing those Hail Mary shots, explosive play after explosive play after explosive play. But he was playing against some really weak competition. And you're in the
Yeah, he was
SEC now. You're in the SEC. And so you're playing against the best competition that America has to offer for American football. And so you can't just
yep.
take those shots. You have to learn how to be cerebral in terms of you got to learn how to pick a defense apart and realize that the explosive play is not what picks them apart. It's those 5 yard checkdowns. It's those quick slants up the middle. It's
It's
those curl
catching your
routes.
receiver in between the zones.
Exactly. You got to learn how to do those. Once you learn how to do those, you really start to fuck them up and you start pissing people off. But then that's what makes you an all-time great at the same time. Shout out to Kirko.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kirko, dog. We'll get into him a
Shout
little
out
bit later.
Kirko.
We'll get into
Kirko
him a little bit
Cuz.
later, dog. That boy cold. You like that? Mm.
That's funny.
But yeah, but staying with college, man, dude. What the fuck is going on with Michigan right now, dude?
Okay. So, like everyone knows, I don't keep up with college, but when
Yeah.
something college related pops up on my screen and I know about it, it must be big. Now, I don't probably don't know as much as you, but the head coach thing is insane, my boy. It is insane. What the heck is going on? What is going on?
Dude, it's wild, man. Like the whole slate of Michigan just looks completely weird, quite frankly. Like, I don't even know where to begin, but I'll just read you what I have here. So, Wednesday afternoon, Michigan releases a statement saying that they fired head coach Sharon Moore, effective immediately with cause. Now, that's important to pay attention to with cause. Okay. So, remember when we talked about Brian, excuse me, remember when we talked about Brian Kelly getting fired from LSU?
Yeah,
Okay, so Brian Kelly got fired without cause, meaning that they didn't have a reason to fire him other than just because of maybe the record.
bad plan.
But
Yeah.
that's not a legitimate reason to fire somebody. So that's without cause. Well, when you're fired without cause, you have to get paid out the money from your contract, which was his $54 million buyout.
Mm.
When you're fired with cause, they don't owe you a dime. So that's important to pay attention. That's important to take note of. But anyway, so the university, they launched an investigation. It was an internal investigation because they received a tip about a potential relationship that was going on between Jerome Butler and another staff member. Now, on the initial investigation, nothing came up. They couldn't find anything. There was no evidence to support the claim. So whatever, they kind of, I don't want to say they dismissed it, but they kind of just left it alone. But they still kept, they still kind of kept eyes on it. But then from there, over the last probably 24, well, probably 48 to 72 hours now, because this is a couple of days old now. Um, they ended up finding some credible evidence that surfaced up. That's what ultimately prompted them to fire Sharon Butler. And in their statement, they mentioned that the cause being that he was having an inappropriate relationship with the fellow staff member. And in the beginning, we weren't sure who that staff member was, but I think now they know because he got sentenced today, or he got charged officially today with everything. Um, and it was some white girl. And
Of course.
anyways, but what we did know at the time was that Sharon was being detained by authorities. So after the firing, this dude gets arrested. And that's what really kind of sent things up into shockwaves because the firing happened first, but then hours later, he got arrested. And so he was being detained somewhere in Michigan. And upon further investigation or whatever. And so when you look at Michigan as a whole, dude, they have just over the past 4 or 5 years, they've just been in these crazy fucking scandals, just stuff that's just bizarre to think of. And so if you look at the last 5 years, this is what it kind of looks like right here. If you're Michigan, so 2020 COVID hits, right? You can't really do anything. Everything's on lockdown, whatever. Well, Jim Harbaugh
Hmm.
was like, "Fuck that." I'm trying to get some recruits up in here, dog. So he goes and visits people in person, tries them out in person, which was completely against the rules. Nothing happened to him then, right?
Yeah.
But what ultimately came down was the NCAA launched an investigation on it. It took a couple of years for them to gather all the crap that they needed to, and in the end, they found him kind of guilty in a sense, because it's not like it's an actual world court or something like that. It's not, you're not the police, but they ultimately, found out that he was going against the rules, and so they handed him down a 3-game suspension at the start of the 23 season, and that's really where all this crap kind of starts. So he gets handed down the 3-game suspension for recruiting violations, right? For seeing people in person. Sharon Butler also gets a suspension for the same exact reason. He was handed down a 1-game suspension. Moving forward into the 23 season, there's all these things going around talking about sign stealing, which that's where if you I don't know if you ever got wind of that, but there was a sign stealing scandal with a gentleman named Connor Stallions. And if
What's
you never
sign
heard of that,
stealing in football?
well, in college football, they have signs on the sideline. They have multiple guys
Yeah.
on the sidelines that are calling out signs and signals. And that's for your defense as well as I believe the offense. But nonetheless,
Okay, you talking about the people with the poster board has the
they'll have
formation
poster
and shit on
boards.
it.
They'll have like all kinds of stuff on the sidelines that's how they communicate to their teams. Well, Connor Stallions basically is like the guru of figuring out those signs. And if you want to really kind of get into an in-depth detail about it, go on Netflix. There's a docu series on it, and it is awesome. It is
So he
worth
got
every.
punished for that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
illegal to figure out your opponent openly discussing their plays is illegal to figure out what they're openly putting out to the public for everyone to see. It is illegal. That is insane.
yeah,
I think that should be 100% legal.
yeah. It's really it honestly is kind of stupid because it's essentially like you're holding out a sign that's written in a language that you don't understand, but then you cipher the language, and so you understand it now.
Yeah.
And but it's not like it's hidden where you can't see. You're on the field. There's cameras panning
That's
all
what I'm
over
saying.
it.
Yeah. The game's recorded. The sign guy's recorded. He's showing it to half the people in the stadium.
And the teams record the opposing teams to study it.
Yeah.
That's like
So
that's like a
like,
known thing, but nonetheless, it was a sign stealing scandal. The way that Connor did it though was like excessive. Not gonna lie, the way that he went, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, if you get about an hour and a half of free time, go on Netflix and just search up Connor Stallions. It'll pop up. I don't know the exact name of the docu series, but it's amazing. It's perfect. It's amazing to watch. Go check it out. But anyways, so there's the whole sign stealing scandal getting brought up with Connor Stallions. Well, Jim Harbaugh gets served a 3-game suspension to end that season. Well, that's the same year that they went to the championship. They won the Natty. But he gets served a 3-game suspension. Everyone's pissed off because they knew that he was sign stealing or whatever. Jim Harbaugh claims he has nothing to do with it, but everyone calls BS on there. Whatever. Well, um, Sharon Moore also receives a suspension. He got a 1-game suspension from the NCAA, and then there was a 2-game imposed suspension from the University of Michigan because the University of Michigan was trying to get out ahead of it. Where if we just suspend him ourselves, it's kind of like time served. In other words, does that make sense?
yeah. We'll
So
punish
that's what
him so
the
the league doesn't have to.
exactly, and so that's what the university was trying to do. So you had a 3-game suspension and a 1-game suspension on your coach and your assistant on your offensive coordinator to start the season. Then on top of that, you had a 3-game suspension served by your head coach at the end of the season, as well as a 2-game suspension from your offensive coordinator as well. Or maybe not the offense. I think he's just the assistant head coach. But nonetheless, that's what it was. Well, dude, if you thought that was bad, the freaking offensive coordinator, Matt Weiss, was even worse. So if you think that the Connor
I
Stallions
don't.
thing was crazy, the offensive coordinator was even worse. So in 23, offensive coordinator Matt Weiss, he was fired and then charged by the FBI for hacking computer systems. And he was found to have hacked over 100 universities' computer systems, spying on over 3,000 athletes. Mind you, this is the FBI. This isn't an NCAA investigation. This is the FBI that is on his ass.
The Federal Bureau of Investigations.
Straight up. So this
Cash
dude
fucking
gets
Patel.
so this dude gets convicted. Well, then he winds up facing 14 counts of aggravated identity theft. He's also getting sued by multiple women accusing him of hacking into their accounts and gaining access to their personal photos. There was 74 women that joined that class action lawsuit with a potential 48 more on in line.
Wow.
So like, bro, this dude's done. You thought Deshaun
Wow.
Watson was bad, my boy. This guy takes it to a whole nother level.
Wow. Bro, and that's
That
so
guy,
scary, bro.
that
He's
guy
a
said, "Hold my
college,
beer."
he's a college, is he a college educator?
I don't know that they would be
No, no,
educators.
no. Well,
No, they're just
he's a
coaches.
college staff member at, I mean, I don't know.
But nonetheless, dude, you're set for life, bro. You're making millions of dollars, dude. Like And so that leads us back, so I mean, obviously those are all the scandals that Michigan has been involved in over the last 5 years. You got an offensive coordinator that's hacking systems to other teams. You got them hacking systems to look at women's personal photos. You got another guy that's sign stealing, that's doing all sorts of crazy stuff to get the signs stolen from you. Meanwhile, on top of that, you're going above and beyond the rules of recruiting to try to get the best talent that you possibly can because you're being pressured by the media and by the state, by the Michigan fans that you need to win a national championship game. So he's being pressured. So that's why he's going kind of off the rails here to then finding out this year with Sherrone Moore that this dude's having an inappropriate relationship. Now, whenever I was first looking into this, whenever I sent this over to you, this was
Hmm.
all fresh. But today, Sherrone Moore was charged, and he was charged with like stalking and assault and all this other stuff. I was watching a podcast, and
What
I
a
don't know if
fucking
this
what a
is
street.
I was watching a podcast online, and I don't know if it's true or not, but they were saying something about that the person that he was dealing with, mind you, this dude's married with 3 daughters, Sherrone Moore. Married with 3
Of
daughters, been
course.
married since like 2016, something of that nature. Married with 3 daughters, had an affair with this other lady that was there at the school, got her pregnant apparently. Again, I don't know if this is true. I'm just this is just what I was watching. But apparently the way their story goes is that he gets the girl pregnant, makes her have an abortion of some sort, or has her take a plan, or I don't know, something. But then from there just kind of like starts stalking her. Well, then apparently he goes into like a downward spiral because I guess maybe I don't know, she's threatening to kind of make their relationship public, and he knows that it's going to be like, social suicide, it's going to ruin his career, it's going to ruin his family, his wife, his kids, whatever. So he starts kind of going into a downward spiral, and next thing you know, uh, supposedly that he broke into her house, and was basically telling her that he was going to off himself if she was going to go public or whatever.
Who the? How old is this guy, dude?
I don't know. But that again, I don't even know if that's true. That was just a podcast that I was watching that, you know, was providing updates to the whole story because everyone was wanting to know who the girl was. Who was he having an inappropriate relationship with?
Yeah.
And so they mentioned her name, but I didn't write it down or anything like that. But they mentioned her name and they showed a picture of her. And and so yeah. But at the same time, they're talking about too how the girl is equally as guilty as well. No,
Why?
so well, because she's the one who called the cops on him in the first place. That's why he got arrested.
Hmm.
Because he was acting suicidal. On top of that, he had broken into her home, and that's ultimately what he was charged with. Is he was charged with breaking into an innery, stalking, because he was following her home and shit like that to make sure that she wasn't going to go off maybe and I guess tell the world of their relationship. So he was like stalking her. He got charged with breaking and entering and something else. But again, this guy was being suicidal. Apparently, he had a knife in the room and was basically telling this girl, like, I'm gonna off myself if you're gonna do this until I get your verbal agreement, sort of thing, that you're not gonna go public with this, then I won't do what I'm saying that I'm gonna do. And I'm watching this and I'm like, this is crazy. But then I see the charges come out,
Yeah.
breaking and entering and all that, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's not crazy. Maybe it is actually facts. But it's just
If
insane,
it is
bro. To
facts,
think.
if it is facts, what a FNP. What an FNP, bro. Like
Yeah.
I can't stand grown ass men that do stuff like that do something wrong and they can't deal with the consequences. Like if you know you're gonna act like that for the with the consequences, don't fucking do it. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter what it is.
Right.
Like it don't even have to be cheating. Like if you know it's gonna kill you that bad. If something if someone finds out or you get caught, don't do it. Like just don't do it. Like it makes no sense. Or toughen up. Like one of the best sayings, you're gonna be dumb, be tough, right?
Yeah, I don't understand why people do it. You know,
Nah, that's
if you're that desperate for something like that, or you know, there's something going on that makes you feel like you need to go do something like that, then why not get a divorce first? Because what's worse now?
yeah,
The position that you're in, right?
yeah,
It wouldn't have been so bad if you would have just filed for a divorce and said, "Hey, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm sorry. You know, let's figure out what we got to do with the kids, yada yada yada, and move on." You know, and it's not
yeah,
like you don't have access to lawyers and stuff like that. I mean, dude, you're a head coach of one of the most prestigious schools on the planet. You just signed a 5-year,
yeah,
$25 million deal. You're getting paid $6 million a year. You can afford a decent
yeah,
lawyer to
yeah. And
figure all the details. Go ahead.
I'm sure that goes back to being an F and P. Like
Yeah,
just scared to say anything, scared to make a move. You know, just doesn't want to face the consequences up front. That bothers me. That really bothers me.
I know, man. And so it's just like he goes through all that. You know, you could have easily gotten a lawyer, have them iron out all the details, figure it all out, and then go have the relationship with the other girl. But instead, you chose this route because you thought it was easier, but it wasn't. Those things never end well for nobody. I tell you a story. So I go down and I told you I visit some dealerships, right? And so
Yeah.
this one dealership in particular, one of their executives, he was like the CEO. He ends up having he gets fired. Why? Because he was going out having an affair with a lady that worked at another. So he worked for like a group of dealerships, if that makes sense. Like these dealerships have they're not like they're owned by a company, if that makes sense. And so you have executives that run that company that then run those dealerships. So
Okay.
those executives go hunting around their dealerships to just kind of check and see how things are going, whatever the case may be. Causes them to have to travel a lot. Well, he went down to another town, had an affair with a lady, and at one point was paying for like her mortgage, or not her mortgage, but he was paying for her apartment, and he was paying for a lot of different
Let me pay
things.
your rent, baby.
And I guess, well, you can only imagine how that probably starts. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll give you a piece of ass, but what are you going to do for me, type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I guess part of the agreement was is like, I won't say nothing, but you got to pay me off somehow. And of course, this
Yeah.
guy buys into it and is doing what he does. And then boom, there you go. So he stops paying for it. Apparently, the way the story goes is that he stopped paying for the rent. So she goes and files a claim with HR. She's got all the proof. And so now you go from a CEO of one of the most prestigious automotive groups in all of Texas to now being jobless for what, 5 minutes of fun, if that.
Cause you're a simp.
And he also had wife and kids.
Yeah. Some guys are simps though, bro. Like some guys, the girl don't even need to make the offer or do anything. Some guys are just willing to do that because I don't know. They're I don't know. That's just how they are. Some guys get money just so they can do that.
It's crazy,
It's
but
a
it
wild
happens,
world,
man.
bro. It's a wild world out there.
Yeah, I was about to say it happens, bro. It happens more times than what we
Every
think that it does. You know.
Yeah, everyone's motives are different. Everyone has different motives of why they want money. Some guys like Diddy want money for control and power. Some guys want money so they can buy women. Not necessarily buy women, but lure in women.
Yeah, true that. But yeah, it's crazy, man.
Michigan. Oh, 60-year-olds just I don't know. I hope I'm
But
not
that's
that
just
bored when I'm 60.
but that's just it, bro. Like I don't even think I'm very curious as to how old he actually was. But man, he could I want to say he was like in his 40s. I mean, he's young, bro. He doesn't look
But
old at
still,
all.
but
But
still,
you
dude,
you
that's
get ahead of yourself, man.
stalking. What
Get
like
ahead of yourself.
what are you gonna stalk a girl for, bro? Like I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
That boy desperate,
And nor
dog.
do I want to, I guess.
I mean, technically, you stalk your wife every night.
Do I?
Yeah, you sleep in the same bed with her, right? Whether
Yeah,
she wants you to or not, you going into her
she wants
space.
me to.
I'm just messing
She
around,
wants
bro.
me
I'm
to.
just kidding.
No, no, she wants me to.
Yeah, she wants this, dog.
Her bed.
I'm all
That's
that
my
in a
bed.
bag
No,
of
I'm just
chips,
kidding.
dog. Shit, not in
And
the
then
state of
some.
Texas, pimp. Not in the state of Texas. Damn
Yeah.
near everything's hers. But we
Yeah,
won't tell them
facts,
that. You know
facts.
what I'm saying?
That's
They ain't
funny.
got to know all that. You feel me?
They already do. Everyone does.
Yeah, no, I know. But moving on, man. I know there's another topic that we wanted to kind of talk about. Was it
Yeah. What we got
with
next?
with Mr. Joe Cool, Mr. Joey B,
Oh,
Joe
the
Burrow?
sad news. You see the video I sent you? Did you get to watch it?
No, did you send it to me after all?
Yeah, I sent it to you on TikTok.
Oh, I thought you sent it to me through text. No, then I haven't because my phone's the camera,
Ah,
so I can't look at it yet.
he
But
picked up
I'll
a
try.
phone earlier. What phone was that?
Oh, that's my work phone.
Oh, I got two phones.
This one's literally one for work, one for one for personal.
One for
But
the
like,
pod and one for the work.
this one you can't do anything with it. Like it's like locked and everything.
Oh,
So it's like all it literally
oh, they
does
got
is
it all
just like
dumped down.
yeah, just like calls and texts, and then I get access to like my desktop on my computer, stuff like that. So yeah,
What?
I get free nights and weekends
Who was
though.
talking? Free
I'm kidding.
T-Mobile to T-Mobile after 9.
Oh shit!
A little throwback for you right there. How about that, huh? What you know about
What
that?
y'all know about those free nights and weekends, baby?
Fucking
Shit.
Gen Zers just tuned in like, what are they talking about? It's always
What do
free.
they mean free nights and weekends? What? Like, yeah, bro, there never used to
Bro,
be unlimited minutes.
what are
Bro,
rollover minutes?
I remember I used to be on a 200-minute contract, dog. 200 minutes a
Insane,
month.
right?
Bro, you had to get on and off the phone quick, son. Where you at? I'm at home.
Hurry up,
Bye.
you're wasting my minutes.
Yeah, exactly. What do you want? Text me instead or call the house phone. Remember that?
Call the house. Call the house. It was
Call the
call the
house.
house. I'd be like, Mom, can I use your phone so I can call Jacob, see if he can come over? You better hurry up. I don't got any minutes left. Like,
Hey, but like
damn it.
free minutes will kick on at like 9, right? So like your girl call you at like 8:55 and like 8:59 comes around. Hold on, baby. Let me call you right back. Hang up real quick. Fucking 9 o'clock hits, jump right back on the phone. All right, what's good? I can talk all night now, baby.
Yeah, pretty much, bro. From
We'll
from what I
fall
remember, it
asleep.
was just like At like 9 o'clock on the dot, someone was calling or my phone was ringing. Like it wasn't even like talked out, or it was just automatic at that point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Back in the MySpace days too.
Dude, MySpace was shit, bro. I don't care what nobody says. MySpace was cool as fuck.
It was the best social media platform ever.
Mhm.
Ever.
And it
Okay,
went
but let's
on
go
a
back to Joe
it went
Money.
on a pretty good run. Yeah, yeah, let's go back to Joe Money. My bad, guy. My bad, dog.
We're about to go on a 30-minute tangent about MySpace.
That's we'll save
So
that
the
for next
sad
Wednesday.
news.
Yeah, sad
Yeah,
news,
right.
man. Joey, dude. So, well, you obviously
Uh,
saw the video.
I gotta look sad. I was smiling. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought we got a freeze. But anyways, what did you think of it? Because it kind of feels like he's hinting somewhat like of a retirement early type of thing, but at the same time, maybe he's hinting that he's going to probably ask out of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Which one do you think
Yeah.
comes
So,
first? That's
ooh. So it's tough because he said some words that makes me believe that it's retirement rather than trading off. But maybe but then again, like I think maybe he said it that way because he doesn't want to be disrespectful to the team. So he's just trying to like give hints without directly saying I want to go somewhere else because that's just not who he is. I think because he's the key words he said were if it's not fun, I don't see any point in doing it anymore. What
hmm
does it benefit me, right?
right.
So the way I take it is he's not having fun anymore. He's getting beat to shit and he doesn't want to play no more. He got paid.
hmm
He can make money doing something else. He already has the name. He has the brand to follow him. Wherever he goes in life, he chooses. He will financially most likely be set for the rest of his life because of what he's done already, in my opinion.
hmm
But then I think deeper about who he is as a guy. He's really a respectable guy. So I'm thinking maybe he said that just because he doesn't want to openly just be like, yeah, I'm not having fun here. This team sucks. I want out. That's just not his personality or the type of guy he is. So I'm gonna go towards he wants the Texans specifically to reach out and pick him up before they make it to the Super Bowl.
Bro, could you imagine Joe Burrow on the Texans with
I
with
can.
with that defense?
And it looks like 3 rings, bro. It looks like a three-peat.
Dude, that'd be insane. But
Hey,
if you
LSU
if
boys,
you do
close enough.
think, well, I was gonna say, if you think that, because I think that he's trying to ask out. I think ultimately that's what he's gonna do. I don't think he's gonna retire, even though there was that
Yeah, I don't think
clip,
he's retired.
which
He
here
wants out.
here's where Cincinnati's failing him. And we're gonna show this little clip here. Let me just share the screen. This is where Cincinnati's failing him. So obviously he just turned 29. So there was a huge thing about him turning 29 because ironically enough, that's when Andrew Luck retired. Andrew Luck retired at 29. And so if you look at it, Burrow has played in less games and has been sacked
Oh my
more
god.
than Andrew Luck.
29 times more. That's crazy. Here's that number again.
Yep. So it's like, when he's talking about I've been through more than most, that's what he's referring to.
Yeah.
He's referring to the fact that he's been hit more than any other quarterback in the league since entering the league. I mean, it's just insane, man. Your sack percentage is 6.8%. That's
dude.
nuts, bro. That is nuts.
That dude,
And so
that is nuts. What's even crazy, like you bring up those stats, how he got hit more, but he was also able to do more than Andrew Luck.
yeah,
That's what's crazy.
he's been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did it. I mean, he didn't win, but he made it.
Make no mistake about it. A healthy Joe Burrow on the field, or just a Joe Burrow on the field, period, is
One of
a
the best
top
players in
three,
the league.
a top three quarterback. A top three, not three. You know what I mean? He's top one, top
Yeah,
two in the league when he's on the field. It's just there's just no you can't deny it. But it's the fact that he's always getting injured. And it's because he's having to
yeah,
scramble out of the pocket. It's because he's getting hit. His wrist, I mean, think about it, right? His turf toe. How does turf toe happen? From running. Why is he running? He's a quarterback. Well, because he's having to escape out of the pocket. You know, his wrist injury. Why does his wrist get hurt? Well, because he was throwing and made contact with someone's helmet. Why is he making contact with someone's helmet? Because his offensive line isn't protecting him. Then his ACL, he
the
was having to
pocket's
scramble out of the
collapsing.
pocket, having to scramble out of the pocket, tears his ACL. It's like, so it's like, dude, like it's just one thing after another. This dude can never stay healthy. And then on top of that, when he is healthy, he's getting blown to shit by the defensive line. He's getting attacked aggressively. And so but I truly think that he's gonna request out of a team before he retires. I don't see him retiring. I think that he knows how good of a player he is,
Yeah,
and so he doesn't want that to go to waste. I was watching. I
that
don't know if you saw.
itch to go back to the bowl.
I don't know if you saw Bussin' with the Boys, but they had Coach O on there from the LSU.
Okay.
He used to be the LSU head coach. He was the head coach for Joe Burrow when they won the national championship. And he's talking about his days of recruiting Joe Burrow. Hilarious, fucking hilarious story, bro. So he said
Is
that
this
Joe
that old
Burrow.
school coach that has that really deep raspy voice?
You seen
Okay.
you seen the Blind Side, right?
Yeah, he's the coach that. How about you and your brother get 4 seats to every LSU game, whatever? Yeah.
Well, he was the old Miss coach back then, and so he was like, "I'll throw in a sideline pass."
Yeah, that guy. I'll throw in the side like
Okay,
that. There you go.
so
Side
that's
four
Coach.
seats, sideline pass.
That's Coach O. So anyway, so he's got Joe Burrow coming down to come visit LSU, and so they're all gonna go out to eat. And so they asked Joe, what do you want to eat? He goes, well, I want crawfish. Well, the restaurant that they were at didn't have crawfish. And so everyone's scrambling around like, what the fuck are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So Coach O talks to like the owner of the restaurant or whatever. Is like, hey, bro, like y'all don't have crawfish here? And he goes, no, man. He goes, we don't have that sort of shit here, or something to the other, or maybe they ran out of crawfish or something. So or he talked to one of his buddies right there on the side that was there with them at the table and said, hey, call my buddy Boudreaux, tell him to boil a pot and bring that motherfucker over here and put it in these guys' containers to make it seem like these guys cooked it. And sure enough, bro, they said like within like an hour, they had crawfish boiled, delivered to the restaurant into the back kitchen, and they made it out like as if the restaurant actually had the crawfish there. Oh,
Dog, imagine Burrow goes back and tries to order crawfish again, and they're not there.
dude. But nonetheless, I mean, that was just a funny story, right? But nonetheless, Coach O said that whenever they would all sit down and whenever talk got real serious, he said the smartest player in the room was Joe Burrow. Always. He was always the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, you can. I believe that he looks very methodical with his thought and the way he thinks. Like he seems very. You can tell he's always calculating what he's gonna say and what he's gonna do before he does it.
Uh-huh. Exactly. And so Again, I think that he's going to ask for a trade before Cincinnati even has time to fix what they've messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I see like yeah, so like
Question
McDaniels is
is where
probably
does
gonna
he
get fired from the
go?
Dolphins. Texans will give away CJ Stroud to the Dolphins, and then we'll pick up Burrow from the Bengals.
Okay, so on planet Earth, who do you think picks him up?
On planet Earth, who do I think picks up Joe Money? Oh man, that's tough. Let's see who maybe man, what team? All they need is a quarterback. You can go maybe the Vikings, pair him up with
Mhm.
Justin Jay.
That'd be wild. That's another one of his college
They're
teammates.
they're in the yeah, and then always the comparison: who's better, Chase or Jefferson? And then they're always like, well, Chase has Burrow. Who does Jefferson have? Maybe we get to see that come back. Now that I think about it, now that I said it out loud, that's probably his destination he would want to go.
Well, there's another team that came about that made a whole lot of sense, which is the
Is it New
Rams.
Orleans?
No, the Rams.
Okay, you think Matthew Stafford retires this year?
Well, there's a lot of speculation that he might retire after this year. If you think about it, him and Clayton Kershaw both got into professional sports together. Clayton Kershaw retired this year
Hmm.
from baseball. And so, they're thinking that maybe, I mean, look at all the injuries that Stafford's been dealing with. You have an opportunity to potentially go win a Super Bowl this year. They're arguably one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFC right now. And so if they go on this tear and this rant of making the Super Bowl and actually winning another Super Bowl, why not go out on top like how Peyton Manning did? Two-time Super Bowl champ,
Yeah,
potentially Super Bowl MVP. And so it's like what a way to go out. You know what I mean? And then also too, you
yeah,
think about
yeah.
you think
Puka,
about
Atwell.
who does yeah, but who doesn't need a whole lot of draft picks at the moment who can probably afford to give up because you're looking easily at 3 first rounders if you trade for Burrow. Easily 3 firsts. You might
Yeah,
even you might even be looking at 4 first round picks for Burrow, which would be one of the craziest
yeah,
trades in NFL history. But you're looking at most likely a bare minimum 3, most likely 4, and the Rams don't need them. The Rams have the talent there in their locker room. They've hit on every draft
yeah.
pick they've
For
gotten
the
so
next couple of
far.
years.
And McVay is known to be able to develop just about anybody and everybody in that system. And
That is a
you're
scary thought.
that is a and just imagine.
I don't want to. I want to imagine breaking news: Texans just traded their next 6 first rounds for Joe Burrow.
See, and I
Texas
like
trade
Burrow.
CJ Stroud to the Bengals.
I like Burrow in New Orleans. I think that would be a excellent place for him to go to because, just something about him in Louisiana with LSU. I mean, LSU had Burrow shirts, but they spelled it in like their French way. So like there was so much
Like
marketing that he had.
Bureau or something like that.
Yeah, and then an X at the end. You know what
That's
I'm talking
funny.
about? So there's just a whole lot
Yeah,
of
that's
marketing and
funny.
advertising that Louisiana was able to do because of him, because of his name, and because of their heritage and their culture down there and stuff like that. So like him and the New Orleans Saints just it sounds like a match made in heaven. And you think
Where's
about
he
it
from?
too. He's from Ohio.
Oh, he's an Ohio boy.
Yeah, he's from Ohio, and he originally was he originally played with Ohio State, but he was the backup quarterback. And he wanted to become the starter, but they didn't want to give him a shot. So he hit the transfer portal and went down to LSU and wins a national championship in his first and only season. Because I think that was his last year of eligibility too. So he winds up winning that national championship, boy, and whoo wee, made himself a first round pick. Uh oh. Oh, your
Starting
stuff's
quarterback
going
for
out. Your stuff's going out. You want to back out and come right back or something? You made it a little bit farther. 141, hour 41. Who's the one guy that's been in here this whole time? I'm real curious. Is that you, Cisco? Are you creeping? There he is.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I was
Yeet.
saying, who would have been the starting quarterback for Ohio State that kept him at second string at that time?
Uh, would it be CJ Stroud?
No, CJ Stroud came in 3 years ago.
So it would have been the person before him. I can't remember who it was.
Me either, and it's pissing me off.
Justin Fields.
Was it Fields?
Yeah, it would have been Justin Fields then.
Okay, I don't know why I was thinking he was like a Alabama or OU. Yeah, OU.
Yeah, it would have been Justin Fields that beat him out for the starting job. So he,
Crazy.
yeah, hit the transfer portal, went down to LSU, and instant sensation.
Instant. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. At one point, Joe Money was one of the coolest players in the league, I would say. Slaggiest for sure. Joe some money, baby.
Dude, his rookie season, bro, he was coming in hot, son.
Hot, bro. Glasses,
Yeah.
chains,
Fresh to
hair,
death.
fresh to
Macaulay
fuck.
Culkin. That's what everyone thought Macaulay Culkin was supposed to look like when he grew up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Straight up, dude. Yeah, there's just yeah, dude. He's just yeah, cool.
that's funny.
Joe
But
Cool,
yeah.
man.
But yeah, in that video, Jamar Chase, I sent you, Jamar Chase, they asked him his comments on what he thought about the video that they showed about about what he said, and he looked kind of sad. He was like, "Man, I thought it was AI at first." And they're like, "But do you believe it?" He goes, "Man, I don't think so. Like from what I see, it still seems like the love is there. I believe Joe will continue to play." It's like, dang, but you could tell like he was hurt by that video for sure.
But that's kind of answering the question as if it was asked to him about is he going to potentially retire. I could see that answer kind of goes more towards a question like that rather than a question of like, hey, do you think that he's going to ask for a trade?
Yeah, yeah, it
Which
was about
only
retirement.
which only confirms our takes that he's going to ask for a trade. And at that point it's like, dude, and it's crazy to think of the teams who would come calling like, you know, again, you have New Orleans. You could potentially have the Rams, the Vikings for sure, the Raiders maybe. I don't know that the Raiders will pull the trigger on something like that though because they still need a lot more weapons before anything. So, and nor do I think that Joe Burrow would actually go for the Raiders. I just don't see that being a good spot for him.
Panthers.
No, because they got what's his name there, and
You think they're
he's
gonna
looking
stick with
for.
him?
Yeah, I think they'll stick with them. I think he's showing them some progression right now, and so I think they'll stick with him. Miami can't do it either. Miami can't afford to lose that many picks again. They traded multiple first round picks to get Tyreek Hill, and I think this is their first year that they'll have a first round pick since that trade this coming draft.
Mm.
So they're barely paying off that debt right there if you consider it a debt. So
Shit.
uh
Let's
and
say
then
Sam Darnold tanks.
and then Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. But I was saying Sam Darnold, he hasn't. What if he falls off completely towards the end of the year and just does terrible in the playoffs? Burrow to the Seahawks.
Well, the Seahawks signed him to like a 3-year deal.
Oh, they signed. Oh, that's right. From okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they signed him to like a 3-year deal, so they're kind of married to him in that regard. But again, I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I just doubt that the Seahawks would give him a shout. But Arizona does sound pretty intriguing because they could easily move on from Kyler
Kyler Murray,
Murray,
which they
and
already
they
want
have
to.
offensive weapons there already. So you got Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey
Yeah, maybe.
McBride.
Yeah, maybe with Burrow, he can really shine and thrive like he was supposed to.
Hmm.
But it's kind of hard. But like it's hard to blame it all on him because he does have quite a bit of drop balls. But look at the quarterback they're coming from. Like part of it could be from Murray. He doesn't know if the ball's coming to him because you can't see him behind the offensive line. So then out of nowhere, you just see a ball in the air. You're like,
Hmm.
is that coming to me? Shit.
Oh shit! Yeah. So it'd be kind of weird, but wild to think about, man. Joe Burrow on another team.
Joe Burrow and the trade. Like that's just crazy to think about.
Well, and here's what I find most interesting that nobody's really kind of talking about. When Joe Burrow was getting drafted and they were asking him, you know, hey, Cincinnati's got the number 1 overall pick, you know, you're most likely going to get picked up by them. In the beginning, he was saying that if Cincinnati was going to pick him, that he was going to decline playing for them. He was going to pull an Eli Manning.
Really?
Yeah, and then it winded up not happening. He winded up going ahead to go ahead and sign with them.
Eli Manning, who did he deny to play with? The Chargers.
The Chargers,
That's right.
and ultimately went to the Giants, and the Giants selected Philip Rivers, so they just did like a quarterback swap.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Philip Rivers.
And now that boy's fixing to start too this weekend, dog.
Philip Rivers, bro. The Colts. Oh, and they got Danny J still, right? Did they sign him or
Well,
no?
Danny Dimes is only on a 1-year deal too.
So the Colts.
Colts too, maybe, yeah.
Dang, that's not a far drive from him.
It's not. And it's a definite possibility.
Yeah, they got a top 5 defense when healthy, when playing right. A potential number 1 running back in the league.
I mean, we'll speed round the whole league real quick. All right. So Patriots, no.
No,
Bills, no.
no,
Dolphins, no. Jets,
hell
they can't.
no.
They just or actually they can. They got 5 first round picks in the next
Yeah,
2
but
years.
you think Joe Money is looking at them like, yeah, I can flip that organization around.
No. But I'm just saying
No.
It's a definite possibility because they got 5. Think about this for the
Yeah,
Jets.
he doesn't
They
have the
got
choice
they
ultimately,
got
right?
5 picks, 5 first round picks over the next 2 years. So if they ask for 4, you still have 1. Whereas most teams don't carry that many first round picks on them from the jump.
Yeah, the Cowboys,
No.
they got 3.
Cowboys, no. Cowboys, no. All right. Steelers,
Maybe,
maybe.
maybe Aaron Rodgers out.
Aaron Rodgers is done after this season.
You still got DK Metcalf. You can make something with. Maybe defense.
Maybe.
Defense is still pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So Steelers a definite contender. Ravens, no.
No, hell no.
Uh the Browns, no.
He ain't gonna go quarterback
He ain't gonna
suicide
go
again.
to yeah. Jaguars, no.
No, I think they're gonna.
Texans,
I think the
no.
Jaguars will bite on Trevor Lawrence after what he's done.
Yeah. Well, they already signed Trevor Lawrence to like a 5-year deal anyway. So
Yeah,
Texans, no. Colts, maybe.
maybe
The Titans, no. The Broncos, no. The Chargers, no. The Chiefs, no. The Raiders, yes, but they won't pull the trigger. Eagles, no. Cowboys,
they have it.
they have
They
it,
have it.
but
They have it.
I doubt that they do it though.
Bro,
I
that'd be
doubt
crazy.
that
Imagine,
would
no,
be
imagine
imagine
Dak Prescott and 2 first rounders for Joe Burrow.
or 3 first rounders
And Dak? Or you're just gonna leave Dak
and
in.
Dak. No, and Dak.
I don't know. I don't think you need a third first rounder. I think even if you send Dak with the 1 first rounder, they might take it. But
Bro,
two for sure.
I don't even want to know what this state would look like if the Cowboys traded for Joe Burrow.
Oh, bro, that'd be gross.
Bro, they'd probably rename a county somewhere around Dallas
Ugh.
in his name.
Bro, I might have to believe him when the first time they say we're going to the Super Bowl. Like,
All
fuck,
right.
here's a valid reason this year.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. So here we go. Here we go. Commanders.
mm, depend. Oh, that's a
No.
tough one. Probably not though. I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I
they
can't
got
get.
Jaden Daniels.
Is he back yet? Or did he get hurt again?
Well, he got hurt again, but I don't know. I mean, they just need to sit his ass for the rest of the year. All right. Moving on. The Giants. No.
No,
The Packers. No.
no,
Bears.
no,
Lions.
no.
Vikings.
Maybe.
Yes. Panthers. No.
I don't know, man. You think the Panthers are really that set on him?
On Bryce Young? I think
Yeah.
so. At 7-6, number 1 in your division? I think so.
Yeah, the silent killers, bro.
Yep.
Crazy.
The Bucks? No. The Falcons?
Ah, I don't know. Penix hasn't really been. He hasn't been good, really, and he hasn't been available.
You got Kirko Chains that's still signed through next year. And then you got Michael Penix that's only on his 2nd year of his rookie contract, which is it's 4 years with a 5th-year player option or 5th-year team option. So you could offer them both quarterbacks? No. You would offer them Michael Penix because he's young and
Yeah,
he's on a rookie deal, so that would save them a shit ton of cap space. So Michael Penix and 3 first-round picks.
probably. If
Yeah,
they even
right. They
have to.
probably they probably ask for Bijan Robinson before they get fucking Penix.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
moving on. The Saints.
That's another maybe.
That's another maybe. The Rams.
Dude, I think that is the best spot since you brought it up.
Yeah. Seahawks, no. 49ers,
They got two quarterbacks right now. They got Mac Jones and Brock Purdy.
okay. And
They
then the
think they got a
Cardinals,
dilemma. That's another good one.
and that's another good one.
Oh man. All right, so top three. I'm going Rams, I'm going Vikings, and I'm gonna say I'll put the Cardinals there too. Rams, Vikings, and Cardinals.
I would agree. In no particular order.
Mm-mm. No, I would say the Rams. I would say Rams, Vikings,
Well,
Cardinals in that order.
yeah, on second thought, yeah.
I was like, wait, no, yeah, no.
I thought about it for a second. I was like, wait, no, 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 no. The Rams definitely sound good. So, yeah.
Just based on availability, the quarterback situation, the weapons they have. Yeah,
With the coach that they have,
coach. Who's isn't the Vikings coach? Who's the Vikings coach? That's a new
AOC
coach. Who?
or KOC, I'm sorry. I was saying
KOC is
AOC.
AOC. That's his first year here, right? No,
KOC? No, it's like his fifth or
fifth.
sixth
Okay.
year. I want to say him and Zach Taylor both got hired at the same time, but different teams.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. Yeah, man. I mean, that definitely gonna make the NFL a lot interesting, a lot more. And then
yeah,
also when he decides to announce the trade
it would be at the end of the season for sure.
in the
It
end of the
it'd be
season,
it would be like in the off season
before the draft or after.
before. It'd have to be before. It might even be the night of.
I'm about to say, what about draft day?
Yeah, it might even be the night of the draft. Like he might put in a request for trade a week or two prior, so that way they can start looking at the draft board.
Yeah.
Teams will already
Breaking
kind of have an
news.
idea.
Yeah, be like, and with this pick, the Cardinals select opt to trade the first round for Joe Burrow. Oh man, what a time! What a time to be alive.
Crazy.
All right, where are we going now? Bulls after Joe Money.
I don't even know how you top that, bro. Because that's like, bro, that's easily gonna be the topic for the rest of the season. Is the Joe Burrow sweepstakes.
Who's gonna be the lucky team? Jeez, bro. I wish. I hope that man. That'd be crazy, bro.
Like, why couldn't the
Crazy.
Dolphins be primed up to be able to pull something like that, bro? Imagine Joe Cool in Miami, looking, Miami. You know what I'm saying?
Miami, mommy.
He'd be
Miami,
walking down the
mommy.
street, girl. You know your boy can help you put that fire.
Wearing all his Cuban clothing. Boy, gonna come
Yeah,
out here looking like Scarface now.
straight up.
That's funny. But imagine him
And
in
we ain't,
Houston, bro.
and we ain't got a number 9 retired, baby, so he can be number 9 all he wants.
Joe Money would like the scenery down in Houston more than he would like it in Miami.
I don't know, bro. There's a lot of good stuff
He ain't
going
after
down in
no
Miami.
Latina.
Shit, you
You
don't
know
know
he
that?
was. He wants some dark meat.
Oh shit, that's funny,
That man coming to Houston. That's why I was also thinking Steelers. I was like,
dude. The Steelers
He's
came up
kind of
short,
fits the
man.
Steeler culture.
He does. He does, bro.
That's why I was like, Steelers sounds interesting. It really does.
And you think about the Steelers, right, and how they've never been able to hit on a quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger. That's been their and they're good enough to not make a top 10 on like they're good enough to just be even like a 500 team, which gets them into like the 18 to 25 range of of draft picks, and so you never get a top prospect for a quarterback.
Yeah.
They've struggled in that area. Well, you ain't got to prove nothing with him. He's already ready made. Fuck. Trade Tua.
Not
Get rid of his ass.
even trade him. Just fucking get rid of him. Just drop him.
Yeah, right, bro. He good for something. He's a
Yeah.
body on the field.
He, yeah, for Wildcat or what?
Yeah. He's a body on the field, bro. We got to do
I
something,
mean,
dude.
I look at quarterbacks like Tua, and I'm like, how is he in the league? And they got rid of Tim Tebow. Like, say what you want about Tim Tebow, but that motherfucker won games, bro. He figured out how to win games somehow. And I would rather have a Tim Tebow on my team than Tua Tagovailoa, tag below
Turn
the
turn the
tag
ball
below the
over.
waist, tag twice below the waist.
Yeah, he was definitely a great college quarterback. Wasn't hasn't really panned out for him yet in the NFL. And I think it's hard for it. I think it's hard in general for most left-handers to be great in the NFL. Period. I just think that for lefties, there's certain sports that just don't mesh well, and football being one of them. As a quarterback, I mean, outside of what Steve Young, what other left-handed quarterback do you know that's just like an all-time great?
Mike Vick.
Well, I'm talking about like that won Super Bowls.
Oh, I'm like, bro. Oh, tell me that. I thought you were gonna say that can throw like a deep ball. I was like, okay, okay. The greatest
Why?
left-hand deep ball threat in the NFL ever.
Oh yeah. Why would I ever disrespect him that way? No, I'm talking about just like that
But
can
he
take
made
you
it
to
to
the
the Super
promised
Bowl, no?
land. That one. I don't think so.
Didn't he make it with the? Who was it? Him or McNabb that made it with the Eagles but lost?
McNabb.
McNabb. So he didn't make it with the Falcons at all.
No,
Hmm. Tragic.
it is, but nonetheless, it's. I just think that it's a really difficult position to play left-handed in the NFL.
Yeah. I saw Peyton
It's just.
Manning throw the ball left-handed one time though.
Is there like a follow up to that?
No, I'm just saying I saw him throw left-handed one time. So
Oh.
greatest ever.
Well, I think Pat Mahomes did the same thing too.
Oh yeah, he did. You know what they say. I hear it every Sunday. He is the greatest ever.
Not even the Chiefs ain't even playing, and Chris Collinsworth finds a way to mention his ass.
Yeah. Now here's a guy who kind of reminds me of a young Patrick Mahomes. Look at the way he sidearmed that bar. The only other person throwing the ball like that is Patrick Mahomes. I saw a video breakdown of it, and it was like he was like, I gotta say this, and it's not that I don't like Patrick Mahomes. It's not that I don't like Travis Kelsey. He goes, I respect the fuck out of both of them. Patrick Mahomes, without a doubt, generational talent, one of the best quarterbacks to step on the field. Same thing with Travis Kelsey, generational tight end. When it's all said and done, he will go down as one of the greatest to ever do it. He goes, it's not that. He goes, yes, they do stuff to annoy me. Yes, the Taylor Swift stuff annoys me with Kelsey. Yeah, although Patrick Mahomes sounds like Kermit the Frog, he's still it doesn't take away his talent. But what makes me not like him is the glaze they get from Chris Collinsworth every Sunday night. And I'm like, yeah, right? Like it really is him and a lot of the media that I wouldn't say makes you not like him, but yeah, it makes you not like him.
Well, it's like the radio, right?
Yeah,
I
you
think of
the
it like
song
the
comes
radio.
out.
When a song comes out and the radio overplays it, and then it gets not that good anymore, when it really is a banger. but then you just
Hmm.
get tired of hearing it because they keep playing it over and over and over and over, and it's just like, yeah, I would have to agree with that take too. I mean, that's it really is the glaze because when he first came out, I was like, oh my god, this motherfucker is a gunslinger, bro. This dude can throw the ball. Like this dude's just doing acrobatic shit. I mean, this guy is literally parallel with the ground, throwing a 40-yard pass. It was like,
Flicking that thing
holy shit. You know, just something, some stuff that he had did, you just had you like,
and all.
okay, okay, all right. Kansas City got a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
then you're right. The media just played it out like crazy. Sports commentators played it out like crazy. The broadcast played it out like crazy. And it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up already, bro. But
That's funny.
anyways, man, we'll cap it off from here, man. We'll call it a night. It's getting pretty late. So
Yeah. Seems like a good time to
anyways,
stop.
man. Yeah. But we do appreciate everybody who chimes in and listens in and tunes in, and we try to keep it PG, but sometimes it doesn't always wind up that way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you seen the new PG shows nowadays? They ain't too PG anymore.
Yeah. We'll be all right.
They take parent or guardian to heart. Like just because the parent and guardian's there doesn't mean you can show whatever you want.
Yeah. But anyways, folks, everyone have a great night. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching us live, or just picking it up anytime you can, man. Hit us up on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch TV. We go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9:30 sharp. So we appreciate y'all. You guys have a good night. Peace.